There are talks of the sequel characters returning to Star Wars, and boy, there's a lot of thoughts about it. Let's get into it. A lot of news outlets are reporting that we may see the sequel characters again in future projects. Now, before we get out any parades and flowers or pitchforks and fire, let's actually do what I always say and read the source. Always read the actual source. By the way, I'm dead serious when I say read the source. If you pull up like IGN and they said, in an interview with Empire Magazine, that means you should be reading the interview in Empire Magazine, not someone else's interpretation of what happened. Read what actually happened, because why not? Kathleen Kennedy was talking to Empire in regards to the upcoming Empire issue. That's the Book of Boba Fett, which is dropping November 25th. I don't know if you read Empire. I don't, but I'm probably gonna get this. Anyways, she was talking about the reunion between Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor for Obi-Wan. She talked about how amazing and emotional this reunion was, especially when you consider that Star Wars was really at the very start of both of their careers. Now, I'm just going to straight read the next paragraph. It says, while Obi-Wan Kenobi is springing from the prequel trilogy, and Rogue One prequel Andor bookends the original trilogy with the post-Return of the Jedi Mandoverse shows, it sounds like there may be more stories to come involving the crew introduced in the most recent sequel trilogy, which wrapped up on the big screen with Rise of Skywalker in 2019. This part's in quotes. Certainly, those are not characters we're going to forget, teased Kathleen Kennedy of that third generation of Star Wars heroes. They will live on, and those are conversations that are going on with the creative team as well. That's it. That's what sprung all of this news. That's why we're talking about here. Now, it's not much to go on, but it does make it sound like they are considering continuing their legacy. I think the possibility of the sequel actors coming back is actually great news for the fandom, and here's why. I am a prequel fan, and I grew up in the middle of all the prequel hate. I think a lot of younger ones don't remember how bad it was and how much it permeated, but it affected everything. I can't tell you how many times I was told I was not a real fan, that this was not real Star Wars. We saw what they did to Ahmed Best, nearly unaliving himself, ruined Jake Lloyd's life. It was hard to get out of it unscathed. Very few people did. But I tell you, when I heard that Ewan McGregor was coming back to reprise his role as Obi-Wan this past April, man, I was so excited. This is what Ewan McGregor had to say in regards to the prequels. He said, our films weren't much liked when they came out by my generation who loved the first ones. He says, I think people of our generation wanted to feel the way they felt when they saw those first three movies when they were kids, and George Lucas wanted to take our ones in a different direction. He had a different idea. It was tricky at the time, I remember. But now, all these years later, I'm really aware of what our films meant to the generation they were made for. The children of that time, they really like them. I've met people who they mean a lot to. Those films more so than the original three. And I'm like, are you kidding? Now that "are you kidding" at the end is not his attempt at gatekeeping because people like the prequels more than the original trilogy. That's him being shocked because of the reception that they received. Remember, Revenge of the Sith came out in 2005. It's been almost 20 years. We have had to wait almost 20 years to get Obi-Wan and Anakin back in real live action. That's crazy. The previous generation said, I didn't like them, so I don't care. I'm going to tear this down. And they robbed us of many years of possibly amazing storytelling. Don't do that to the next generation. It's okay if you don't like it. That's fine. Don't watch it. And if it's not successful, then they'll stop making it. But don't tear it down. If the people that look up to Rey and Finn the same way that I looked up to Obi-Wan and Anakin are able to get their heroes back in a reasonable time frame and enjoy more stories, I'm not going to take that from them. So I hope that this is really happening, mostly because I think Finn deserves a lot more story, and I can't wait to see him become a Jedi. I think there's some amazing things that they could do post Rise of Skywalker, and always more content is better. So to wrap everything up, when you actually read the source, we got very little actual news, but if it is true, I am excited. I am here for it. All I ask is that you let the things that other people enjoy that you don't, let them enjoy it. And if you didn't enjoy it, well, you be the change that you want to see in the fandom. Don't be like the people that made sure you got shortchanged from what you loved. But anyways, that's my takes on it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, do all the things. I appreciate y'all, and may the force be with you always.